I believe that's it. So what I did was I went into WSJTX
Yeah,
file, log file directory.
open log file, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I get, the log file directory. So the very top, you get all.txt.
Yeah,
I find that this
That's
laptop
useless.
I have,
that's useless.
I search it sometimes. For example, if I go to bed and I get up the next morning and I left it running and I wanted to see if, for example, Bouvet Island was there,
Oh, sure, okay, yeah.
I just go and search it, right?
Okay, yeah,
It's a text file. You just type in Control F and the word you want to search.
yeah.
Anyway, I find that if it gets bigger than this 80 meg or 88, I had one 106, I find that things start to get chunky on the computer with FT.
Oh,
Okay.
got me thinking I'm gonna go look at mine.
So all I do is I just rename it, and I'll probably start deleting them because they are useless after the time, right? So I'd probably just delete these old ones there. But if you delete it, it automatically recreates it when it gets another thing to write to it.
Mine's 85 meg.
Yeah, so you could just rename it, and I just put like the year in the 1-1 file for the year sort of thing, you know?
I see.
And if you're still receiving, don't worry about it. It'll just make the file again
Okay.
on the fly.
So you would just rename all.txt to whatever, and then the
Yeah.
next time you run the program, it will create all.txt again all by itself.
Exactly.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So the log file, though.
So that's one log file that it's keeping. And then when I scroll down, you see another one here. It's wjtx.log.
Yes.
That's the same as, but a different format
Yeah.
as WSJTX
Cabrillo, isn't
log,
it?
underscore log, should say, .ADI.
Yeah.
They're the same file, just a different format.
That's actually, isn't that like a comma separated values? A .csv
ADI? I'll open it here.
technically, because it's, it's got the date, comma, the time, comma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not comma delimited though. It's using greater than and less than instead.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at yours.
I'm in the ADI file right now.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. No, I was looking like that log though. What do you do with that log file?
I take the ADI file.
Well, okay. So in WSJTX, you generate an ADI file from within WSJTX then, right?
That's the
Yes.
one that I
Yes.
use to manually upload into QRZ.com.
Which one? What are you talking about? Which
The
one?
WSJT_log.ADI.
Oh, okay. But you have to create that. It doesn't create that automatically, does it?
I thought
I'll
it
tell
did.
you right now.
When I'm in QRZ.com, I just go to settings and then do the
Oh, maybe
import.
it does do that automatically. I guess it does. It looks like it. Yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
because it automatically does that. So you don't look at that .log file. You look at the _log.ADI.
And I don't have to go into that particular file and clean out the previous uploads that I
Right.
put in.
Right.
It just automatically just says, no, I've
They're
already done
created
those.
they're kept up to date at the same time
Got
because the
it.
time
Yes, they
stamps
are.
are the same.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't get that file.
So
to
you
load.
can pick whichever format you want. The only time you have to export it is if you want the Cabrillo format.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And usually I pick the ADI and I upload it to 3 places actually. Clublog, I think, eBook of the World, or sort of EAR one, that's Logbook of the World. And what was the other one?
But when you
EQS.
when you say logbook of the world, you're actually going to TQSL first, and it puts it into logbook of the
File
world.
that.
Yes,
That
exactly.
logbook of the world trusts.
Yeah.
And if there's some dupes in there, don't worry about it. They all look after the dupes. But when I upload it, I generally rename it to a name so that I know that it has to recreate the file again, and they're all new contacts. Now, the bad thing about it is if you're watching the colors on the screen to know who to contact, you're going to be reset by doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing mine manually, but maybe I don't have to be. I'll look at that closer sometime in the near future.
So in that new version of WSJTX also, it also shows you on that active stations window, it shows you how many points that particular station is worth in a contest. And it shows it to you, like I just worked a dude that was worth 19 points, XQ3MCC. And, you know, so I know he's out in Timbuktu somewhere. If I go look at my log, he's Chile. Okay, so he's Chile. But anyway, he was worth, 19. And then there's a LW3DMA who I've worked before, and he's worth 20 points. And I can see there's a VA7 station there. I can see, you know, if I look at that active stations list and it's all stateside, I go on to another band.
I try switching antennas first, and then I go to the other band.
Right now, I've got one antenna. So if all I'm seeing is stateside, you know, not that I love America, God bless America, you know, most things about it anyway. But, you know, I would rather be talking to across the pond or something, you know. On
Have you ever worked Bolivia? I still am looking for Bolivia.
I'd have to check. But
It's
I think
a
so, yeah.
CP call. A CP it
It's
starts
C-
with.
What's his name?
Charlie Papa.
CP. CP. Apply. Oh my gosh. CP6CL, CP6UA,
Oh,
CP6.
good for you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
worked CP6UA on 10 meters. I worked CP6UA on 15 meters. And I worked CP6CL on 17 meters.
Good. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's hope, Bob.
There is hope eventually, but he's using 300 watts or thereabouts, and I'm using
232 watts right now.
232, and I'm using 100.
Well,
You
you know,
didn't find it in my recent log, but it might be in stuff I've already uploaded.
I didn't turn on the amplifier initially when I first got down here and got on the band. I think I've been here ever since on 10 meters, but I called CQ with like 70 watts or something, and somebody answered me, but I didn't get a reply from him. So I reached up there and flipped the amplifier on, and then I got a reply from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried, you know, but
Okay, so
Okay.
do I need to recap on anything here? You know how
Are
to
there
get
any
in?
other questions
say that
for
again?
Daryl?
can you do it again?
Yeah.
Still being recorded.
Oh,
So
very
good. I'm glad this is being recorded.
Exactly. Excellent.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can be done again if needed, yeah.
Thanks very much, Daryl. That was
Yeah,
well
Daryl,
explained.
that was very good.
That was excellent, Daryl. Thank you for explaining that because, like I said the other day, that you explained it with me. It was great because if you don't do that, Fox or Hound, you don't have a clue. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh, now question. Where is the recording going to be? Is it going to be
going to be
on-
uploaded to the Manitoulin Amateur Radio Club YouTube channel.
channel?
It might
Okay.
take Lou a week or so to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
It'll
we
be-
just
it'll-
got.
It'll be on
Sorry?
our webpage. It'll be on our webpage.
Yeah, but I can't get at
No.
their webpage. Not yet. I
Oh.
don't have the new 12
Well, you don't
digit,
need to-
password.
Well, it's not written. No, it's not going to be on our website. It's not going to be.
Oh,
we don't
no.
put it up there. No, it's not.
That
up
would
there.
take a
It's
lot
on
of
our
room.
YouTube channel. She usually makes an announcement on Facebook once it's been uploaded to YouTube. So
Okay.
it's on our YouTube face
As
channel.
long as you've subscribed, yeah. And Rusty, that new website looks fabulous.
Oh, thanks. I'm.
I like the graphics there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, eh?
Yeah, very good.
So, and that's pretty easy to change too. Like I can switch it up.
Is it still ve3rmi.org?
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
The old passwords never worked, right? And it
No,
doesn't-
Unless your password was already 12 characters long.
no, it wasn't.
So how do I get in here?
I had to add stuff to the end of it.
How do I
So
get
what?
a new one?
I had padded it on the end to make it 12 characters.
Okay.
So I added crap at the end. So,
What is the crap that you added to the end of mine? Please let me know.
oh, you know what? I might be able to see it from here, Bob. Hold on.
Was it 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, it was not that. Let me see.
Four, three, two, one.
That, I'll give
4,
a
3,
real
2,
quick
1.
recap, okay?
Did you add
30
this?
second recap,
Go ahead, Daryl.
okay? And then there was something I was going to show Andy as well. I'll go into regular mode for that. So when you're in Foxhound mode, I recommend back up all your frequencies, that
Yep.
the normal frequencies that are reserved for,
Before you delete them all.
because if you start putting in every de-expedition, it's going to get really cluttered. So this way, it makes it real easy to find the de-expedition frequencies, and you can get back to your standard frequencies fairly quick. If they're saying they're operating in Foxhound mode, that means go into Foxhound mode. It means that the Fox will always be the person that's running the de-expedition that everybody's trying to contact, and he's on the even number seconds for time frame. Okay. If you haven't done so, if you see on mine on the left side, you see this gray bar with 17, bunch of dashes and 17 meter. Those are separator bars between each cycle. Okay.
Bob, check your chat messages.
So that's just done under setup, and it's something I recommend doing, just so you can say, oh, everything older than that bar I don't care about, but maybe you do if you wanted to contact somebody that went by that didn't come back again. Eh? So that should be under general settings, and that'll be what is it? Blank line between decoding periods. Okay, that's what you would check for that. So Fox is always going to be on the even number time periods. You're always on the odd. If you see somebody that's on the even and it's not who you want to contact, it's probably not who you want to contact. If it's someone that looks like you want to contact, but they're on the odd, probably not somebody you'll want to contact. If you see when a good indication that it's the Bouvet Island in this case is you were watching the frequency and it was pretty empty, and now it's just packed full of people on the right place trying to contact the individual. Maybe you don't get them yet, but maybe pretty soon you are going to get them. The messages, what you're going to get for, okay, I didn't want to generate my last standard message here. Oh, that's the wrong computer, that's why. Okay, so the messages here, if you don't see them and you want to start transmitting, I know they say, oh, don't transmit unless you see them. Well, if you know you got to get a spot before everybody fills them, and it looks pretty confident that he's going to be there, start transmitting. Try and secure a time slot, in a frequency slot. Time slot you got, but it's the frequency that's available. Try and secure it. The only messages that are going to be back and forth between you and the expedition would be, you're going to say his call sign, your call sign, where your location is. He's going to come back with a signal report. You're going to go back with a Roger signal report. He's going to come back with an RR73. As soon as you see a 73 has been sent in a message, you're done. You don't send anything after that. If you had weak propagation and you didn't get a 73, it's going to keep transmitting the signal report, the Roger +9 in this case. Okay. It's going to keep sending that up to, it's either 3 or 6 times. I think it's 6 times he's going to try to close it off. Okay. If he still doesn't, if you still don't have him after that many times, he's moving on. Okay. It's just the way the software works, the way they set up software, which means if you didn't get a 73, you have to try and get him again if he cut it off. I would keep trying with the Roger +9 in this case and see if he comes back for about half a dozen. If he doesn't, and then you see he's responding to other people now, keep in mind there's 2 of them. So if it looks like the one that you were with is moved on, then try and get him again. Okay, you didn't get a 73. You mean there's no way of confirming it's closed off. Once you're done, they're asking people to they use the term AT&O. I forget what the actual letters stand for, but it means that anybody that's never had contact with them yet, give them a chance. If you're confident that you made contact, give them a chance.
What they were saying too was if you made a contact on sideband or CW, don't try to get them on FT8. Let
Yeah.
the little pistols have them. That's what they were saying. That's what they said this morning, the message I saw from them this morning. Little pistols. What'd you call me, man? I'm
No,
not a
if
big
it's
one.
towards-
I'm a little pistol.
If it's towards the de-expedition,
gun.
or it's early in the day or late in the day or whatever the reason is, and propagation looks like it's good, but there's not too many people out there.
Look at the gray line, man. Look at the
Yeah.
gray line. You know, us with, you know, that don't have 1,500 watts or whatever, you know, if the gray line is, you know, heading in their direction, if you're lucky enough, like, man, I can work Japan on demand by looking at the damn gray line, and usually on about 17 meters, you know, when the gray line is, you know, it's over me, it's over them. And with that, whatchamacallit, grid tracker software, you can see the signal, it's following the damn gray line, just bam, and landing right over there, buddy, almost every damn time. Now, and it's the gray line at night, you know, it's sunset, not sunrise.
It's unfortunate that Bouvet Island's half a gray line away from us. Like
Yeah.
we're in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of the day or night when we're on the gray line. Okay.
Yeah.
So from there, once you're done and you want to work regular FT8 again, just go back in. There's 2 things you got to do. Turn off Foxhound mode. Just uncheck the box. The bubble will stay black. It'll go grayed out though, but just uncheck the box. Okay. And for special, what's it called?
Advanced. You go to advanced. and
Special operating
special, yeah,
activity.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
uncheck it. Okay. Which I will do now. Okay. And just acknowledge it. Okay. And you see, I get back my transmit. It's not grayed out anymore. My transmit even
And
first.
all of your standard messages are available too now. So
Yeah, all of them. I can select any one of those messages now.
you could be a real lid here if you wanted to.
Okay. Now, while we're talking about those buttons, if you're watching, see where I have RR73 for a message?
Yep.
Supposedly RR73, once you get a 73, there's no need to send a 73 because the 73 is the end. It's like saying out sort of thing for terminating the message, but it means best regards, but it's like, okay, we're done, right?
Yeah.
If you had weak signals and you're trying and you finally got your signals through after much work, you might not want to send a 73. The easy way is come all the way over to the radio button. I don't know how many know it, but if you double click on it, did you see what happened?
No.
Change back to
Roger,
the
Roger,
triple
Roger.
R.
Oh, I see.
Remember
So
I
watch, I
was
double
telling
click-
you that the
So
other
double
day?
click on that again. Oh, you know, Pat's was set to RR73. And, you know, I'm like, yeah, you don't want that. You just want RR in there. So I didn't.
RR, if you want to get over your communications quick and you don't want to wait for that last transmission, then just put the RR73, and a lot of them are doing that.
Yeah.
That's what the de-expedition is saying, that they're going to send you, and after that, don't send anything.
So
If you're operating in normal mode, it
Yeah.
still sends the 73.
If I get that from somebody, I'm logging the contact, you know.
so the normal
Yeah, exactly.
course is
Yeah.
the normal course. You're calling CQ with your grid square. Somebody answers you with
They
a
give you
signal
the next
report.
line.
They call you, okay,
Yeah.
with a signal report. Then yours will flip down there and send them a signal report.
Yes.
Okay, then sometimes mine will send them a 73, but not all the time. Sometimes mine will send a Roger, Roger. They send 73 and you're done. The contact is logged. And I don't know if it's a propagation thing, but quite frequently I will have somebody that sends, they're expecting a 73 from me also. You don't need,
No.
both people don't need to say 73, you know.
But some people are pretty determined they want it.
So that's why after you log a contact, if you notice on the standard messages down there on the bottom on my screen, I've still got that last dude's call sign there. Okay, and I can tick Radio Box TX5 and send him one more 73 and then, piss off calling CQ again or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question here too. Why is TX2 and TX3 almost the same thing?
You got R. Is the R is
Doesn't
received?
that mean I received?
What's the R?
Don't look at it as all your messages. Look at the first one, RX. Look at the first line.
Yep.
Where if you're looking at mine, it's the location FN14.
Yes.
Okay, so if I sent a CQ, I'm not sending a location because I already sent a location in my CQ message.
Right.
Got
So
that.
what happens is if they double click on my name over here, like pick one of those CQs, the 9 mics are, if you double clicked on one of those, it doesn't, sorry, the first message that's going to go if I double click on him is my FN14 because I have his location. He doesn't have mine.
That's
Right.
right.
So it sends my location. So that means that line's mine. The next line's his. The next line's mine. The next line's his. The next line's mine. And we're back to the CQ again.
Right.
So-
I'm just asking why the repetition between TX2 and TX3 because it seems to me
There's
they're
no
saying the
repetition.
same thing.
No,
One's coming and one's
no.
going.
The first one, the guy says, "I receive you at +9 signal strength."
Right.
The next one is the opposite end saying, "Roger, I copy you, and I'm receiving you at." In this case, it's +9 because the one I clicked on happened to be. Here, just watch this.
It was +9.
Let me go and transmit, and I come out. The only reason they're the same in this case is because it populated the messages for me.
Right.
Okay, so it's saying that if I sent that line to, I'm going to send it with a +1, but without the Roger because there's nothing to Roger. If I'm sending the next line, I'm going to send it as a Roger because I'm Rogering his previous line.
Okay.
But I never
Okay.
send both those lines.
Thank you. Yeah. You've just explained it.
So the R is a Roger then.
That's a Roger. Yeah.
So
It
Darryl,
depends it depends who initiated the CQ.
You said that some people are very determined to send 73. Well, I'm probably one of those because the way I usually use it is until it's gone all the way through and sent that last message, it won't pop up. Do you want to log this call? So what's the right way to get out early?
He sends a 73. Like the way it works for me, that guy sends 73. And then it pops up on mine. Do you want to log the contact? And I say yes. I don't have to send him a 73.
No.
Sometimes I will send the 73. I'm calling CQ most of the time. Me personally, I'm calling CQ most of the time. And I can't swear for a fact, but most of I don't know, it seems like half the time I am sending him a 73, and the other half the time I'm not sending him the 73. I'm just sending him a Roger.
So what determines that is if you look where the generated messages are,
Mhm.
you're looking at message 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking at message 4. It says RR73.
But normally mine just says Roger, Roger, Roger there. Mine's got 3 R's.
If I'm being sent that line, okay,
Yep.
as soon as I'm done receiving it and it sees RR73, I get the pop-up
Accepted.
saying log this. Okay.
Yep.
If, watch when I double click off to the right in the radio button, if by chance I receive a Roger, Roger, Roger,
Yep.
it
You
does not pop
receive
up
a
a log
Roger, Roger,
yet. It starts to send my 73
Right.
and then the log pops up.
See, that's the way mine is set. Like mine has always been Roger, Roger, Roger on 4. I've never had Roger, Roger.
73.
So if you don't want to wait for that 73 to be sent, or you want to stop it and just log it, what's
Yeah.
the right way to go straight to log it?
Well, if you do the RR73, that would be the faster
Well,
way.
you use that button over there to log QSO and just make sure, use the button above the frequency there on the left and hit log QSO. And as long as all
Okay.
the information's in there, it's logged. It's in the log.
Never used that before. Okay.
Whoever sends the first 73 is going to cause the message to pop up,
Right.
provided in setup.
You have that prompt for, do you want to log the QSO, or is it time to log the QSO?
Mhm.
Unless you were in the contest, then you would
Reporting.
automatically log.
So on the
QSO.
reporting screen, okay,
Yeah.
it says prompt me to log QSO.
Yeah.
If you uncheck it, you'll never get prompted.
Yeah.
Okay. Another way you'll never get prompted is to put, if you took this check mark out, that means I never get prompted. If I put a check mark here, that also means I'm never going to get prompted. But in this case, it'll log the contact for me, where the other one won't log the contact unless I actually tell it.
Okay.
Okay. They don't recommend using log automatically.
No.
And I think the reason they're saying they don't want to recommend it is some people turn it on and try and turn on every auto feature that it can and make
And
as
walk
many
away.
contacts as you can and go to sleep for 10 hours. Where amateur radio, you're supposed to sort of be
Exactly.
within reach of your radio. So
And
anyway,
it really is radio and computer to radio and computer. No operator required.
yeah, and it's possible, but it's not recommended. Yeah.
No.
So who's going to tell Rusty that he's been screwing up the last 6 months and he's got to do every contact all over again?
I think you should.
Yeah. Well,
So-
Daryl, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Andy wanted to just see the steps through contact, didn't you? The
Um,
steps. I have
on
to
the-
go on different
on
frequencies.
the messages.
I'll go on 14.074. Whoops.
The other thing is too, I don't know if you mentioned it, Daryl, but if you're going back to normal mode and you've done like I've done in my log, where I've done a separate one for Bouvet Island and the standard frequencies, don't forget to flip back to your standard frequencies.
Mm.
Yeah, you'll see that it looks awful empty when you go to use your regular frequencies.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3C, 3CA equatorial. So even though it's gone by, I can still double click on it if I can catch up to
Oh,
it.
yeah. Sure. I've done
Okay,
that.
and see how I double clicked on it, it automatically put it to the right.
Yeah.
It automatically put the transmit, enable transmit red. Okay, so now transmitters in transmit, that's what the yellow bar is telling me, that VA3 UAP me is trying to contact the call sign just left of it. 3C3 Charlie Alpha.
And the
So
receive.
he's in,
He's
So the
sending
message
CQ.
right now is the very
CQ.
first one, message 1. That's where the radio button is under next. and it'll sit there until it either times out or it receives the message that resembles the next message line. He's
Yeah.
getting weaker, so I might not be able to get him. I might have to pick someone else
Yep.
because he's at -20 that time.
Times 20 instead of the -11 first received them at.
So that's equatorial. I think that's Guinea, isn't it?
Oh, that's strange. It was -16 the first time, and then it became -11. Now it's back down there to
Yeah.
-20. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Propagation.
that's equatorial Guinea. So he's not receiving me, obviously. This is be the third attempt.
Well, you get
So I'll
4
pick
tries,
another
It's
one.
not like
And
baseball.
then it'll walk through every message, and you'll see every second one is actually me. And now there is a flaw to it. If I went out of my way and I messed with the sequence by clicking on the radio button, and it sends out that message, well, the other end will still pick up on it and continue from there. So there's a bit of a flaw in it. But if you just set it and let it do its own thing, it's fine. Yeah, that's 4, and he hasn't gotten back that I know of. So,
When I was doing things manually, I would just hit the halt transmit, and find somebody else or do something else.
yeah, if you click the enable transmit, like right now, I'll click it.
Yeah.
And it'll just go gray. If it's in the middle of a transmit cycle, I'll let it go into a transmit cycle. Okay,
Yep.
so it's in the transmit cycle. So even though I unclicked it, my transmitter's still transmitting.
Continues, yeah.
Okay. If for some reason you need to stop instantly, next button beside it says halt transmit. It stops it instantly, dead in its tracks. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to pick another one. Here's
What's this tune
let's
button?
see.
I hadn't noticed this before. The tune
What's
button to
that?
the right of halt transmit.
The tune will let you. It'll send a tone to your transmitter, and then if you put your transmitter in transmit, you can use it to tune. Like if you push the tune button,
Okay.
it'll
Okay.
tune to it.
Okay.
Or if you got it, your transmitter set up for tune on key. The 7300, if it puts itself, if the tune goes out, when I say that, I mean your transmitter's tuned when the gray tune in the corner is lit up in gray with white writing saying tune.
Mhm.
When I go on 28 megahertz, it tries to tune, and sometimes it kicks itself to disable the tune button. In that
Yeah,
case,
I've
I have to
noticed
push
that
the
occasionally. My tune is in red, and then it'll just disappear.
Yeah, if it disappears, that means the tuning circuits aren't in the path.
Yeah.
So now you see, Andy, that I just got a message from him, VA3K8SOX plus 16. So now he sent back, or now I'm sending back
Just jump.
his call sign, my call sign. Roger, I copied your signal report at +0. So that matches the 0 on his transmit line. And now the radio buttons drop down to the next one, or once I receive his, there's his Roger, Roger, Roger. So now I'm transmitting 73, and it went back to the CQ message and took transmit and disabled it and popped up my window once my 73 went to log the call.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Saves you reaching over and clicking on the log QSO button.
yeah, so if you wanted to enter more, like what your transmit power was for this because you operated something different, or you wanted to put comments in there, you can do that. And then when you upload your logs, if you do that, that comment goes with it. Okay, in this case, I just click OK.
So where does the log go then, Daryl? Where does
Goes
that
into
log go?
If you click File,
Can you show everybody that?
yeah, we've
File,
been
yeah.
there, but I'll show it again. You click File in WSJPX.
Yep.
Okay. You click Open Log Directory down here
Okay.
above Settings.
Yep.
And it'll open up a pop-up. Okay. It's got to catch up there. Is it going to let me show that on the screen? No, of course not. Let me select that.
Might have to minimize this display.
Yeah, stop share and share. Where's the share button again? And share this one. So this is the pop-up that opens up. Okay.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 files it's making. The first one that it's making is right here. It's called all.txt.
Okay.
It puts every signal you receive that it managed to decode properly. So if it was CQ V3AJB,
Mhm.
it'll in your location, it'll plug that in there.
And it just keeps adding to that?
What's that?
It just keeps adding to that file.
Yeah, unfortunately,
So-
it's big.
So if I do it over a 6-month period, it'll just keep adding to that file, correct?
If you look at
Okay.
this, if you look
But-
at this, right underneath it, I got one called all underscore 2022 1-1,
Mhm.
all 2022, all 1-2. Okay. The reason being is if you look at the size off to the right,
Yep.
find that when it gets up in the 80s or higher, it
Yep.
starts causing software problems like slow on my computer because it's only a dual core Centrino.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
it's not it's just it was good before the I series came up, but it's no longer that great. So okay, but it's
So
still
you should,
pretty
what
good.
you're saying is you should be watching that to make sure that this original file doesn't get too
if
big.
you start having a problem, I guess that's when that's
If you start having problems, these are things to look at. Okay,
Okay.
things to look at if it seems that things are starting to a good indication you're having a problem.
Okay.
You're in the middle of a contact and you're watching it go back and forth, toggling. No, I'm sending my message. He just sent his message. I'm sending mine. And you just start to send your message and you didn't see the message from him that you were expecting.
Right.
And then a few seconds into your new message that you started to transmit, it pops up that you just received his message.
Yeah.
No, it just finished processing his message.
Oh,
So
Ah.
when you start seeing weird stuff like that,
Yep.
okay, that's when I go and I just
Just check it
rename
out.
this file and let it start over again.
no, mine doesn't.
Another thing that I notice that causes that type of thing is I'll finish with this and then we'll go to the other spot because you want to know where the log files are. So this one logs everything. As Rusty pointed out, what's it good for? Only if you wanted to search to see if you received somebody while you're asleep the night before, right?
Thought of that.
It's a good place to search. Other
To
than that, you can
confirm,
delete
to
it.
confirm a contact.
No, well, no, that
No
would be
reason-
a log file. In a contact, it's going to be in your log file. There's no need to look through every damn thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, okay.
This isn't a contact. It just means you received them.
Okay, okay.
Okay. He didn't receive you.
Mhm.
So if you go down, you get wsjtx.log.
Yes.
That's just a text file.
That's a text file. And it logs everything. And it logs every log that's in it will be, if you go down further, you'll see wsjtx_log.adi.
That's the one.
That's the same log file, but in the ADI log format.
I didn't even realize that was there because I've got mine set to, mine is automatically logging to Ham Radio Deluxe.
Yeah,
And from Ham Radio Deluxe, I export the log. I do whatever I need to or want to. And if I
Okay.
remember to run Grid Tracker is automatically putting it up to QRZ for me. But I
didn't install HRD at all.
I like it. I like it. And, you buy it once and you've got it for a lifetime. You can keep it up to date.
well, but you have to pay for the maintenance updates, right?
No.
No?
I'm pretty sure that I thought I was going to have to buy it again because I bought the damn thing 10 years ago and didn't do much with it. And they have since switched servers that they use to sell it with, so they can't automatically look up your license file for you. If you're doing a
Okay.
clean install, you need your license file.
Yeah.
And I had to get them to send me to find my license file and send it to me. But I just if tech support, if you need tech support from them, I think that's all the subscription really gets you is
Okay,
tech support.
okay, good.
So you don't have to keep paying them annually. You
I
don't.
use N3.
Well, I'd stopped anyway.
And it does, I've got it set up automatically.
N1MM,
N3FJP.
N3.
I
Oh, okay.
like the 3 FJPs.
Yeah. I guess that's the UDP setting, I think.
There's still a question we were continuing with, wasn't there? That's why I came back to this screen. I
What's
forget
that?
what
The
it
log,
was.
that log file.
Yeah, the log file
You just
we
got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
while you were on the phone, Rusty, we
Yes.
figured out that with the RR and all the things you were doing, you've done it wrong since you've started FT8. So you have to go and delete all those files and start over again. I'm the FT8 judge on here, and you
Oh, Al.
screwed up. So now you got to
Al,
wipe it
he's
clean.
worked a 3 times DXCC. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's got to go. It's got to go. You got to start over, buddy. Sorry. That was the rule. The jury has spoken on here. All in favor? Hey.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to
The topic we were on was what's some of the issues with WSJTX was making it run slow. So that big log file, that all.txt, I found for me, it makes my computer run slow if it gets too big, typically around 80 meg. And that's a pretty big file when it's only text data. So if it was pictures or something, that's nothing nowadays. So another thing I found was if you go up here to your menu bar and you go across to decode and you select decode and you see fast, normal, and deep. Okay. So fast is if anything's really strong and it's really obvious that here's the data, boom, there it is. And normal is, well, let's look a little deeper so that I get some of the little bit weaker signals. Well, deep is, it's looking for even smaller signals, okay? And the way WSJTX works is the signals overlap each other, you know, because nobody's being careful about where they're clicking. So you might have selected 300 to 350 for where you want your block, okay? And someone else might have clicked maybe 325, so he's right over top of you, but not technically he's over top of you, sort of this way, but not totally in line so that you're hidden, okay? So if you're like this, well, his mark and space are on either side of your mark and space. So the software's smart enough to know that, hey, we're guaranteed 50 hertz apart. It knows just to look for a mark and space that are 50 hertz apart. So if there's something 20 hertz up or 5 hertz up, it can't be you, it must be the next guy, right? So it takes the strong signal as well and strips it away and says that the strong signal, what I'm saying, was minus 4 dB, or let's say the 15 dB signal. I took away 15, what do I got left? I still got another signal in behind there. So it just found another signal, okay? So if you're set on deep, I find that it takes a lot of processing power and it can slow you down too. If you go back to normal, you probably aren't going to see too much difference, and it might speed up some of those abnormalities where it starts to transmit a reply, and then it gets a message received and starts answering on the received message while you're already into your transmit.
I had
Okay.
mine set on deep for some reason, so I just switched it back to normal.
Yeah, so I had mine set on deep for the longest time, and then when I started having too much delays, I went looking for clicking different things, and that's one I found really made a big difference. Okay. Okay, so those are the two obvious things for slowing things down. So I don't know if there's anything else to really comment on other than if somebody needs to know how to actually set it up and get it working.
Well,
Yes,
I tell
that's,
you, like I said, that damn ICOM 7610, that's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. You know,
I use it with 7610 and I got a whole load of notes like a,
So Pat would be very interested in any notes you might have. He's going to buy another radio. He's going to buy a Yaesu, probably either a 991A or a DX10, FTDX10. But
Rusty,
yeah,
the first thing that I would make them confirm is ICOM is very anal, if you want to use that word, on their driver. And if he didn't download it under the directory for 7610, this is the driver, then that might be most of his problems. If he assumed that he loaded the RBSA1 software and thinks that the driver that it throws in there is the right one, don't.
oh,
Go to the ICOM site, that's exact radio, that exact driver, and try it.
so Andy, do you know what yours is called? Like if you go to your device mangler and you look at the ports for your 7610?
well, yes, I can look at it because on my laptop here, but it's the ICOM one. It's
But does it say ICOM or something on?
no, it's something else. I'll have a look over here, but the notes, like I have a book when I do a mode and I set up something, and I've got all my notes from my 7610, and it's really not too bad. It's
like we were going to get Ham Radio Deluxe going with his, and we needed to go into the menu settings, and we could find the ones for the CIV, whatever ones. We found all of those, and
that's USB. Yeah, that the CIV settings are USB port, link to remote, CSIV board 19.
yours said link to remote.
Yeah, I've set
I
mine.
remember the one that I see. I went on YouTube or I Googled how to set it up, and this one that I found for Ham Radio Deluxe said unlink.
No, I got it linked to remote, board 19,200, address 98H, transceive on, network control off.
So do you use Ham Radio Deluxe by any chance?
No, I use N3FJP.
Okay.
And the same thing with the BSA1 software. It's total. Daryl is quite correct. You've got to get that ICOM driver specifically. The same for the 9700, and once we had a hell of a time. And Tom's not there, and Ted. I don't know if
I'm
Ted's
going to call Pat
even
right now.
listening in.
Hi, Rusty.
Oh, you're there. Did you hear what they said?
No.
Okay, so on your ICOM, when you got your ICOM hooked up and you were setting up the USB, you needed drivers on your computer. Did you get them from ICOM or did you get them from that remote control software package?
No, I got them from ICOM.
From the ICOM website under the downloads for that particular radio?
Yes.
Okay, well then that's not the issue that you're having. So.
No, I finally gave up. I finally gave up, Rusty, and turned everything off there. But like I can make contacts, no problem. But for some reason, maybe somebody can help me with this. My frequency control on A and B side, a flash when I'm in the receive mode. They flash back and forth, and then when I transmit, everything goes back to normal. And then when I finish transmitting, my two frequencies start flashing again. I don't know what's going on there.
Andy.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
And he loses connectivity. WSJTX loses connectivity with the radio from time to time. That little green spot will go orange, and then it'll go red, and then you'll get a message that pops up and retry, and and his split goes on and off, and
It's not a scan mode, is it?
I don't think.
It sort of sounds like it, doesn't it?
I don't think I have it in scan mode.
Maybe you should do a factory reset, and then
Is he just using the one cable?
No, he's got two. Tell
Okay,
you what, Matt,
gotcha.
you need to give me that radio, and I'll give you my 991A. That's all set up with radio, and we'll call it even.
Oh, Oh, don't tempt me because I'm ready to give it up. I'll tell you.
Well, mine
Well,
works.
don't-
It's one USB cable, buddy. I've got, almost 3,000 FT8 contacts to prove it, so.
I never, Rusty, in all my amateur radio career, which is about 46 years, I never had trouble hooking up a Yaesu radio to anything. And this thing
Oh,
here,
well.
holy shit.
Well, get a 991 because I'll tell you, I've
Or an
had nothing but
FTDX10.
issues with trying to get FT8 working. The 7300 now, I haven't used my 76 yet, 10, but Andy's got one. He's got it working. Don't give it up yet because I'll tell you, the ICOM are amazing.
It's just like I had Ken over the other night and we started going through this, and of course Ken came and said, I don't know a lot about this. I said, well, let's just try and figure it out as we go along. And so we followed the description on the web, and then we downloaded the ICOM servers, and then we got to like when I called you that night, Rusty, because I was losing the green light. But the minute I went split, no problem. The green light stayed steady.
The split won't stay on. And sometimes when the split is on and it switches to the second VFO or whatever, he's got no power output. And the only time I had that problem was for some reason my second VFO got switched to upper sideband mode instead of digital upper sideband. So I just had to make sure that both VFOs were in the same, mode, and everything worked fine on mine. So
Yeah, no, I logged 2 more contacts before I shut it off, but I need a fresh start on it, to.
Pat, I'll have a look. I'll have a thorough look at mine. I've got my notes here, but I don't have that radio in where I am doing my Zoom. So I'll have a look exactly as I've got it set up. And next week, if you're on afterwards, I'll give you a complete rundown of what I've got.
That may be very helpful, and I would appreciate it, sir, very much.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure it out because what's the word, Rusty? I got it working half-assed, basically. It's working, but it's not working the way it should.
Red, it's not brown.
Welcome to the digital modes, eh? It's like getting that remote software eventually hooked up on the rigs, right?
Oh, I gave
mean,
up. I gave up on that. I called Ken. Hey, Ken,
Well,
over here.
I was about to give up, but Tom and Ted and we finally got it figured out. And Tom will tell you, he's into my radio. I'm sitting here watching, and he's controlling my radio all over the place.
Oh yeah, it works like a charm.
Yeah, it works phenomenal. I use my laptop. I can log into my radio. It's amazing.
It works from the hospital now with their slow system at the hospital.
Well, there you go. So don't give up on the radio yet.
no, give it up. Give it to me.
Yeah. There you go. Line
So
up.
I got one last question for Daryl. So have you worked Beauvais Island? Have you then on FT8?
I've received them many times, but I haven't been able to get through the pile up.
So that would be
Okay.
One time that looked very promising. Bouvet Island sent out, what the message read, QRX 15. And their call sign, okay?
We're going to be back in 15 minutes. And they didn't come
And
back.
then propagation went like out the window.
Jeez.
Or he got
And that
swept
looked
off
like the
to
most
shore.
promising
Yeah.
one because it was busy, but not as full as it was yesterday or this morning. And yeah, it was just crazy. It said sort of like back in 15 is what I interpret the message as. And they never ever did come back.
And was that
Or they
20 meters?
I've had sideband stations do that to me as well. Just as I was getting in there.
And I don't know CW, don't have
Yeah.
a ticket for it, so I can't operate there, right? I
Yes,
know
you
some
can
orders at
operate it.
CW.
You don't have to have a ticket for CW to operate CW. All you got to do is know how to operate CW. It doesn't have to be on your ticket, Daryl.
I thought you had to have.
No, absolutely not, buddy. Absolutely not.
Because I've been avoiding it just because
No,
just because I don't have the CW endorsement there.
you just got to learn CW, man.
Yeah. If you can, if you
And you
can
can
use,
get your endorsement. All your endorsement means is it's on a piece of paper that you can do CW.
yeah, like I made a couple of contacts in CW as well. I don't have my CW endorsement, but I've done two, but that was several years ago. Long as you can send CW, you're laughing.
And receive, more important. I can
Well,
send
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be able to receive it.
Yeah,
But-
we had a volunteer at OSC about 10 years ago. He could get off about I don't know 25 words a minute sending, but he can only receive at 5 minutes. So as soon as the other operator heard 25, he came right back at him and blew him right out of the water.
And see, most of the CW operators, if you send at 25 words a minute, they're going to fire back to you at 25
Yep.
words.
Yep.
You're gonna be like,
And
"Hey,
I was at field day one year, and we had Don VE3 US, and you had to know Don. Anyway, I'm trying to copy, and I'm about 11, 12 words a minute. Don says to me, "Do you want to copy faster?" I said, "Yeah, I really would like to, Don. Give me the pencil in your hand. Take the pencil out of your hand and copy in your head." Now he could go around 40 words a minute. Him and Reno Martin VE3 AC. And they were terrific at field day because they'd invite you into their tent. Go ahead and operate even if you're only 10 words. It's okay. You know what? I took the pencil out of my hand, and before field day was over, I was up to about 16 or 17 words a minute.
Yep.
Now I can copy just over 25, and I haven't practiced for a long time in my
in your head.
in my head. You can't
That's
write at 25 words a minute, Rusty. You can't write it down. It's
You
too
need a
fast.
typewriter or something.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Yeah.
But those guys there, like Don and Reno, and they both said the same thing. Throw the pencil away, copy it in your head.
Well, there's a training method where they throw words at you, whole English words, and they say, now remember these words in your head before you try the code in your head. Okay, and supposedly that stretches the brain into remembering more and more items.
There's a
Yes.
program, Bob. I think it's called Morse Sender.
Something like that.
I think
yeah.
it's Morse Sender. So what happens is you put in how fast you want the Morse code sent to you.
Yep.
And then it's almost like being on the air. You've got the static crashes and you've got all the propagation sounds, and whatever
You've got to
letter
go back. You've got to reply.
whatever letter you hear, you've
Yeah.
got to reply to that letter, and
Yeah.
then they'll send you another one.
Yeah.
And I've got it on one of my computers. I haven't got it on all the computers, but I found it excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's called Morse Sender or something.
Okay.
There's a website that's really good at a lot of flexibility in it too for it, but I still have to sit down and do it.